That $5 rotisserie chicken under the heat lamp looks like one of the last honest deals in the grocery store. A whole cooked chicken, hot, ready to eat, no prep, no pan, no waiting. In some stores, it can cost less than buying a raw chicken and cooking it yourself. That is the part that should make every shopper stop for a second. Grocery stores are not in the business of accidentally giving away dinner. If a fully cooked chicken is sitting near the front of the store for around $5, there is a reason it is there. The chicken is not just dinner, it is bait. Not bad bait, not fake bait. Sometimes it really is one of the smartest buys in the store, but it is still bait. It gets you into the store hungry, tired, and already feeling like you found a bargain. Then the real grocery trip begins. Here is the switch most shoppers miss. The trick is not that rotisserie chicken is secretly terrible. The trick is that it sits at the perfect intersection of low price, convenience, store strategy, leftover inventory, and flavor engineering. Once you understand that, the chicken case starts to look different. The first thing that does not make sense is the price. A shopper sees a hot rotisserie chicken for around $5 and thinks, finally, something affordable. A whole meal, fully cooked, still cheaper than most fast food. For once, inflation seems to have walked right past the deli counter. But compare that cooked chicken to a raw whole chicken from the same store. In many cases, the raw chicken can cost the same or even more. That means one of three things is happening. The store is losing money on the chicken, the store is making the money somewhere else, or the product is not as simple as it looks. Sometimes it is all three. This is where the rotisserie chicken moves from dinner to grocery store strategy. Stores know exactly who buys these chickens. Someone who is tired, someone who has no dinner plan, someone who does not want to season a raw bird, heat the oven, check the temperature, clean the pan, and eat at 9:30 at night. A rotisserie chicken solves that problem in 10 seconds. Pick it up, put it in the cart. Dinner is handled. That convenience is powerful. Grocery stores know it. That is why the chickens are not usually hidden in some forgotten corner next to mop handles and emotional damage. They are placed where shoppers can smell them, see them, and make a quick decision. The smell does part of the selling. The price does the rest, but the store does not need that chicken to make a big profit by itself. The chicken's job is often to get you into the building. That is the classic loss leader strategy. A loss leader is a product sold with very little profit, or sometimes at a loss, because it brings customers through the door. The store accepts a smaller margin on that one item because it expects to make up the difference on everything else. The chicken may be $5, but the trip rarely stays $5. You walk in for the chicken, then you see the dinner rolls, then the potato salad, then the bagged salad, then the sparkling water, then the cookies near the bakery, maybe a dessert because dinner was such a bargain, maybe paper towels because you are already there. That $5 bird somehow walks you through the store like it has a tiny shopping GPS strapped to its wing. By the time you get to checkout, the chicken is still cheap, the cart is not. That is the first trick. The chicken makes you feel like you saved money before you are finished spending it. That feeling matters. When shoppers believe they found a deal, they often give themselves permission to buy more. The cheap chicken becomes a mental discount. It makes the rest of the cart feel less expensive, even when the receipt says otherwise. That does not mean you were scammed. It means the store understands human behavior. A tired shopper is not just buying food. They are buying relief. They are buying time. They are buying the feeling of one small win at the end of the day. That is why the rotisserie chicken works. But price is only part of the story. There is another reason these chickens make sense for stores: waste. Fresh meat has a limited selling window. If raw chickens do not sell quickly enough, the store has a problem. They may have to discount them, throw them away, or take the loss. Cooking gives the store another option. Some rotisserie chickens may come from raw chickens that did not sell as quickly as expected. Instead of letting that inventory become waste, the store can cook it, season it, package it, and sell it as prepared food. That does not automatically mean the chicken is unsafe. It does not mean every bird under the heat lamp was about to expire. But it does explain the business logic. A cooked chicken can turn a potential loss into a sellable product. For the store, that is smart inventory management. For the shopper, it is a reminder. Cheap prepared food often exists because it solves a problem for the retailer too. That problem is not just your dinner, it is their unsold inventory. This is where the deal becomes more balanced. You get convenience and a low price. The store gets foot traffic, fewer losses, and a good chance you will keep shopping. Everybody can win, but only if the chicken itself is still worth buying. That brings us to the part most people do not check: the label. A rotisserie chicken looks simple. It looks like chicken, heat, seasoning, and maybe a little oil. But many store-bought rotisserie chickens are not just plain roasted birds. They may be treated with saltwater solutions, seasoning blends, stabilizers, or additives designed to keep the meat moist, flavorful, and appealing after sitting under heat. That matters because the juicy texture may not only come from careful cooking. Saltwater solutions can help meat hold moisture. Salt boosts flavor. Seasoning makes the skin more craveable. Other ingredients may help with texture, color, or shelf life. Again, that does not automatically make the chicken dangerous, but it does mean shoppers should stop thinking every rotisserie chicken is the same as a plain chicken roasted at home. Sometimes you are buying chicken. Sometimes you are buying chicken plus a moisture management system. That can affect sodium. For some shoppers, sodium is not a major concern. For others, especially people watching blood pressure, kidney health, or salt intake, it can matter a lot. One provided example says a single 3-ounce serving of Costco rotisserie chicken contains 460 milligrams of sodium. That is roughly 1/5 of the daily recommended limit from one small serving. Another provided example says fresh, unenhanced chicken may have closer to 45 to 70 milligrams per serving. That is a big difference, and most people do not eat only 3 ounces. They pull off a leg, they grab some breast meat, they eat the salty skin, then they add rolls, dressing, mashed potatoes, soup, or packaged sides. That is how a simple meal gets sneaky. The chicken is salty, the rolls are salty, the salad dressing is salty, the soup made from leftovers is salty. Suddenly, the bargain dinner is doing more work than the shopper realized. The front of the package may not help much. The front might say roasted, seasoned, home style, classic, or fresh. Those words sound simple. The back label tells the real story. That is where the ingredient list sits. That is where you may find salt, sugar, flavor enhancers, preservatives, stabilizers, or additives. That is also where the sodium number tells you whether this is just chicken or a much saltier prepared food. One additive mentioned in the source material is carrageenan. It is used in some foods as a thickener or stabilizer. Another is sodium phosphate, which can help meat retain moisture and maintain texture. These ingredients may be allowed in food, but that does not mean every shopper wants them in a weeknight shortcut. A person buying dinner should not need a chemistry degree to understand what is in the container, but they do need to turn the package around. That is the key. Do not panic, compare. Pick up 2 chickens from 2 different stores and the ingredient lists may not match. The sodium may not match. The size may not match. The freshness may not match. The $5 price tag does not tell the whole story. Costco became the symbol of this strategy because its rotisserie chicken became famous for staying cheap, while so many grocery items became more expensive. For shoppers, that price feels like a promise. You walk into a warehouse store and see a hot-cooked chicken for less than many fast food meals. It feels reliable. It feels practical. It feels like the store is on your side. That is powerful branding. The chicken is not just food. It is a reason to visit. It is a reason to renew. It is a reason to walk deep into the store, past televisions, snacks, paper goods, frozen food, and everything else that was not on the list. That is the genius of it. A rotisserie chicken can build loyalty better than an ad. No commercial has to say, "Come back next week." The chicken says it for them. But cheap does not always mean good. Some rotisserie chickens are excellent. They are hot, fresh, well-seasoned, and still a better value than almost anything else in the prepared food section. Others are dry, rubbery, salty, soggy, or tired from sitting too long under the heat lamp. The cheapest chicken is not always the best deal. Sometimes it is just $5 of poultry regret in a plastic container. The first thing to check is the time. A good store should make it clear when the chicken was cooked or when it should be sold by. If there is no obvious timestamp, that is not a great sign. The second thing to check is the skin. Golden skin usually tells a better story than pale, wet, or shriveled skin. If the chicken looks dried out, it probably is. If the bottom of the container is full of liquid and the bird looks like it gave up on life, that is also information. The third thing to check is turnover. A store that sells a lot of chickens usually replaces them often. Fast turnover can mean a fresher product. A slow store with the same few birds sitting under the lamp for hours is a different situation. The fourth thing to check is the ingredient list. If the label is short and clear, that is easier to understand. If it reads like a small chemistry project, you may still decide to buy it, but at least you know what you are buying. The fifth thing to check is sodium. Do not assume one rotisserie chicken is like another. Compare labels when you can. A chicken that seems like a healthy shortcut may carry much more sodium than expected, especially once you add sides, sauces, bread, or packaged salads. Packaging is another detail worth noticing. A hot chicken is usually sitting in plastic, whether that is a hard container or a flexible bag. The source material mentions concern about hot, fatty foods sitting in plastic and possible chemical leaching. That claim should be checked carefully before production. As a practical shopping habit, it is fair to say this: a rotisserie chicken is not the same as cooking a chicken at home and putting it on a plate. It is a prepared retail product. It has a price strategy. It has packaging. It has ingredients. It has a label. The answer is not to swear off rotisserie chicken. That would miss the point. The point is to use the trick instead of being used by it. A rotisserie chicken can still be one of the best deals in the grocery store. It can feed a family. It can become tacos, soup, sandwiches, rice bowls, pasta, salads, or leftovers for the next day. It can save time. It can save money. It can rescue a weeknight dinner, but only if you buy it intentionally. That means walking in with a plan. If you need dinner, buy the chicken. Add simple sides that make sense, like rice, frozen vegetables, beans, tortillas, or a basic salad. Do not let the chicken become an excuse to wander the store hungry. That is where the math breaks. A $5 chicken with a few basic sides can be a smart meal. A $5 chicken that turns into a $50 impulse trip is exactly what the store hoped would happen. The real trick nobody explains is that there is not just one trick. There are three. The first is the traffic trick. The low price gets you into the store. The second is the waste trick. Cooking chicken can help stores turn inventory into prepared food before it becomes a loss. The third is the flavor trick. Salt, seasoning, and moisture solutions can make the chicken taste juicy and craveable, even after sitting under heat. Put those together, and the rotisserie chicken becomes more than dinner. It becomes retail math wrapped in crispy skin. That does not make it evil. It makes it effective. The store is playing a smart game. The shopper needs to play a smarter one. So the next time you see that $5 bird under the heat lamp, look at it for what it is. Yes, it can be dinner. Yes, it can be a real deal. But it is also a grocery store strategy. Check the time. Check the label. Check the sodium. Look at the skin. Think about what else is going into the cart. Buy it when it helps you. Skip it when it looks tired. And do not let a cheap chicken talk you into an expensive cart.